Hello and welcome to the beautiful Megville Bull Run Speedway in Megville, Colorado for the Megville Qualifier. Now, all these cars on this list need to qualify, and there are 9 spots available on track for them to get. Some of these drivers were in last week's race at Bristol, but did not perform well enough to make it in for this race. Last year's owner points only carry over for the Bristol event. So you may see some familiar names in here, some new names. Some of them are hoping to make their first start of the season, and some of them hoping to make their first starts of their careers. Now on pole in our random draw, number 43 of Andrew Robinson. Now the 43 car failed to make it last week along with brother Zachary, but the 43 car in the lead today. If he can pull out ahead in that heady blue number 43, he could have a good race for himself if he makes it in. Right behind him is Ray Takita, number 13X, one of the RGE Motorsports machines that also failed to qualify. Andrew Robinson sets the pace as he goes through the first couple turns, and we've moved back a little bit to Billy Bishop, who's going to make a pass on Willie Decker for 9th place. Now that is the transfer spot. Billy Bishop running in 9th place, Willie Decker in 10th. So all those cars behind Billy Bishop trying to beat him so that they can get into the show. Now, Billy Bishop has one prior Utica Track Series start. That was at Myrtle Beach last season. He made it in through the Myrtle Beach qualifiers, but unfortunately did not finish the race. He's also noted for his Rallycross Series career. Near the back of the pack is Dylan White, who, despite qualifying for last week's race, unfortunately did not do very well. He finished dead last due to a horrible wreck with Alex Tanker. Alex Tanker is also in this qualifier event. Dylan White running in last place right behind that number 78 DuPont car of Jerry Guerra. The 78 car of Guerra is running that scheme as a Jeff Gordon DuPont tribute scheme. And speaking of DuPont tribute schemes, Nicholas Guerra, brother and teammate, is currently in 4th place and is looking to be in the show for the Megville race. Now this qualifier is only 3 laps. We run these qualifiers on 5% race distance. So last week's race was a little more in the laps because it's Bristol that doesn't have as many. This time only 3 laps, so it's going to really count for each lap as we complete the first lap. Nicholas Guerra sitting pretty in 4th place, a little bit ahead of Zachary Robinson. Now there's Vladimir Petrov, car number 09, the road race ace. Now this car was in the race last week with Alex Allen, but Alex Allen only running the speedway races. Vladimir Petrov needs to race his way in. That 09 car has done him well last year. He made 2 starts at Monza and Österreichring and finished top 10 in both of them. One of them even a top 5. Petrov is a great driver on these road courses, and he's hoping to do well once he makes the race. Speaking of road races, Connor Atwood in number 84, a couple spots back. Same situation with Vladimir Petrov. The driver that drove it last week, Brendan Patterson, would be locked in this week, but Connor Atwood is not locked in. Connor Atwood has to race his way in, but unfortunately he's currently not in there. Decker, Ogo, and Kenneth Jr. are currently ahead of him. So Atwood's going to really need to pick up the pace if he wants to make this show. He did better than teammate William Duncan last year in his select starts. Matt Dool, car number 88, qualified in last week, was not able to get locked in due to Trek Togger having the bonus points necessary. That put Dool and Decker out of the show. Now both of them have to race in today. Now he's not running the breast cancer awareness car. This is his normal paint scheme, the NOS Energy car. One of the RGE Motorsports racing group. He's trying his best to make it in, but he's pretty far behind. We look back at Billy Bishop, who's starting to pull ahead from Willie Decker. Decker does not have the speed to catch up to the 58 of Billy Bishop. Bishop currently running behind Justin Benoit, the number 22 car, who's also trying to make his first start of his career. Bishop having a great race so far as he's been able to, a little bit of a jam up going into the turn, but everything's going to turn out fine. These drivers want to play it safe because they do not want to wreck those vehicles. William Duncan, car number 83, running in 3rd place, doing much better than his road racing teammate. William Duncan was in last month's race. He made it in on orange points, but he did not finish well enough to lock himself in. He had a lot of troubles at Bristol, especially with tire troubles. So the 83 car hoping to improve for the round of Megville. This car, they changed the sponsor on that, was Burger King last year. It's Sony this year, and Sony has sponsored many cars. They're trying to get that car in the race. Brian Benoit, number 75, was to make his 2nd career start. His first start came last year at Mosport when he replaced the number 98 of Max Skinner, who was suspended for 1 race due to reckless driving at Laguna Seca. So Brian Benoit has road course racing experience. However, he did not do very well once he made it into the race for Mosport. And he also made the race for Mosport because they did not have enough of a field for there to be a qualifier race. Zachary Robinson, car number 5, running 1 spot ahead of him. This car looks like it's going to make the show well, so the Robinson Racing Group is going to have both of its vehicles in the show if everything goes according to plan. Which I think it will, since we are on the 3rd and final lap. He makes his way into the final turn as that number 5 machine, which did well for Seth Cole last year, is trying to make the show for Zachary Robinson. Willie Decker, car number 1X, sitting in the 10th place position. Unfortunately, a top 10 isn't good enough if you're not in 9th or higher. He's going to fail to make the show along with the rest of the drivers behind him, including Odo, Canablath, and Atwood. Which means Billy Bishop's going to make it in. Let's take a look at everyone who's qualified for this race. Andrew Robinson, Ray Takita, William Duncan, Nicholas Guerra, Zachary Robinson, Brian Benoit, Vladimir Petrov, Justin Benoit, and Billy Bishop will all race on Saturday. Now let's take a look at the drivers that unfortunately will not be driving on Saturday and will be packing up and heading to Zandvoort, some of them. Willie Decker, Austin Ogo, Julian Kennebleth Jr., Connor Atwood, Chris Kyle, again disappointed, Jake Smith, Alex DeMarco, Nick Capps, Matt Duell, Alex Tanker, Nicky Allen, Jerry Guerra, and Dylan White. Unfortunately for them, they will not be able to make it this week. They're going to have to try again when we go to Zandvoort. But before we head to Zandvoort, we have to have the actual race at the Megville Bull Run. That should be coming up soon. I hope to see you there, and hopefully we won't have a blackout like we did at Bristol.